What's up, dudes and dudettes? Welcome to Everybody Podcasts. We are doing a little segment here called Everybody's TUF, where we take a look at the Ultimate Fighter, UFC's take on a reality TV show. I'm joined with Cody. As always, we're looking at season 29, episode 8. So we got some interesting things that happened in this episode here. We were supposed to get Gilbert, is it Urbina versus...
They almost weren't even pronouncing the R when they were saying his name. They were almost just saying Ubina.
Yeah,
right?
That's what it sounded like. And we were supposed to get Miles Hunsinger. But interesting enough, and it sucks on his part, Hunsinger tore his MCL in his knee. So he had to get out of the fight.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I felt like they were being a little harsh to him.
Yeah.
Dana and Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega kind of compared it to like if he were to get an injury before a fight, you know? And when I was watching, I was looking at it like, it feels different being somebody like Brian Ortega, who's a fighter, who's already got a contract in the UFC, already fought for the fucking belt. It's a little bit different for him to go into a fight with an injury, even if it's like no matter how minor or major it is, because he's already got his contract. He's not going to lose anything by losing that fight or getting injured during that fight, win or lose. But if you look at Miles, if he goes into that fight, win or lose, if he hurts himself to a point where he can't fight, he's lost no matter what.
Yep.
Right? Like if he could have gone in there and beat the fuck out of Gilbert, but still further injured himself, and then he'd be out of the competition. Like, that's it. Like, injured himself to a point where he can't fight because now these guys got to fight in a week, right?
Yep.
So, like, you're asking a guy who's already got, like, what do they call it, a stage 2 tear in his MCL?
Yeah, grade 2.
Grade 2, and asking him to fight. If he goes in there with that fucking tear, gets hurt, but wins, now he can't fucking fight. Now he can't even continue on in the competition. But then even worse, if he goes in there, loses his fight, and gets hurt, now he's out of the competition and hurt.
Yep.
And he just fucking lost. So it's like, I don't know. I just looked at it as being different from being somebody like Brian Ortega if Brian Ortega has a fucking torn MCL, goes in there and fucking tears his MCL even worse, he can come out and be like, well, I can just take 9 months off now.
Yeah.
You know? And that's not a big deal to him. But for somebody like Miles, like, yeah, taking 9 months off is kind of a fucking big deal.
Yeah, and they gave him the choice, and I think he took the smart route here.
Yeah, that's what
not to further injure himself. I mean, the doctor cleared him the fight, but said it's ultimately up to you. So Ortega and the coaches took him in the gym to see how he felt, train a little bit, and the pain was just too much for him. So I think he made the right decision. It sucks for him, having to leave the house and everything, and
everybody, and Dana's telling everybody like, oh yeah, he had the choice. It was his choice to leave and shit. And it's like, that's like, I don't know, it felt harsh to me. I was like, really? Like, I mean, I guess it kind of was, but like really looking at the big picture of it, like what was the smarter choice for him to make?
And then they'll always go back and be like, I care about the health of my fighters first. Like, are you sure, dude? You were kind of downplaying that a bit.
Yeah, you didn't seem like you really gave a shit about this dude who, like I said, win or lose, if he fucking hurts himself even more, he's fucking out for 9 months or however long it's going to take for him to rehab it. I mean, you know, a severely torn MCL is no joke, you know?
Yeah, dude. Like, nobody wants to deal with that fucking pain.
I think football players, if they fucking tear their MCL, that's a season gone. Like, that's it, you know? Yeah.
So our replacement fighter was Michael Gilmore. He was... didn't he like audition or try out for the show, and he didn't make the cut?
Yeah, and then he stayed in Las Vegas.
His
got
choice.
Fired from his job.
Yeah, his choice. Did he get fired or did he quit? He quit.
It seems like a little bit of both, right? Because they weren't willing to give him the time off that he wanted to stay in Vegas in case he was needed for a fight.
And he said, fuck that. And then lo and behold, they bring him back, and Dana White, you're my type of dude, you know what I mean? Because he quit his job for it and seems really dedicated about it. But anyways, to the fight. The fight was definitely one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, Gilbert went right to work.
Yeah, dude.
He went right to work on the guy. Like, like you could expect out of somebody who'd only taken the fight on 2 days' notice.
Yep. We got first round submission, rear naked choke. Took him out.
Is that the first submission since the very first fight?
Yeah.
Or was there two? I think that's the first submission since the first fight.
Yeah. Yep. I love seeing finishes, dude. Especially when they're in the first round. They get me so pumped up.
Yeah, it was quick too. Like he took him right down, and then like as soon as he was on the ground, that was it. End of story.
Extremely dominant performance. And Gilbert, I didn't even know. When I seen that he had two brothers on different seasons, I was like, oh shit, dude. Fucking a whole family of fighters.
Yeah. Yep. And they both it didn't say which fight they had both lost in, but they both lost in their fights in The Ultimate Fighter though, his two other brothers.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he had such a dominant performance. It just sucks because I really wanted to see him versus Miles. You know, I feel like a part of the reason why he won was because he's had this last, month or however long it's been to train with these top level guys. Whereas this guy literally came in on 2 days notice,
Yep. That's a big deal, dude. That's an extremely big deal.
If Michael Gilmore had the same opportunity that Gilbert had, he might have had a better chance,
Dude, did you see like Gilmore's shoulder muscles? Like what the fuck? I guess
I didn't notice.
When I seen that guy coming in, I was like, dude, okay, this guy might be a problem. But, Gilbert he manhandled him, dude.
Yeah. I want to say, I think that's probably why they had the two bantamweight fights in a row, right? Because of that injury?
I would assume so.
Because I was wondering why the fuck they had the two in a row and they took a break on the middleweight fights. I bet you it's because they knew that Miles was injured and they were waiting to find out his results and all that shit, And you could see it in his leg was black and blue. Like his leg was visibly injured, Which is again why so he comes into the fight visibly injured and the guy Gilbert knows that and just starts kicking that fucking leg out from underneath him. Why wouldn't that happen?
Yeah, no, right. So We have the losers they're staying in the house. How come Hunsinger had to go home? Was it because he was injured and he wouldn't be able to train anymore anyways?
Probably, and also probably because he quit.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Like he said he was done instead of getting beat out. He just quit. And they obviously, you could see the way that they were acting towards him for it. Like it's almost like they completely lost respect for him at that point.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say, I didn't. I was like, okay, I get where this dude's coming from, For sure.
I mean, I care about my fucking safety before anything else, man.
Yeah, and there's going to be other opportunities. If he's really good enough, if he really is a top-level guy, he's only got his record was 6-0, I think. I think he's still undefeated. So if he rehabs his leg for 9 months and then just has like 2 or 3 really fucking great fights and just makes himself undeniable, he'll get a contract with fucking, if it's not the UFC, he'll get a contract with Bellator or ONE FC or somebody. If he's good enough, somebody will pick him up, And I'm willing to bet he is good enough, and that's why he made the decision that he made.
Yeah, now we're always going to be curious about what he would have looked like in the octagon, unless you want to get on YouTube and look up his other fights.
I mean, just what the fights that he's going to have coming up. I doubt he's not done.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure he will fight again. Even I'm sure somebody like the PFL or somebody will fucking sign him.
Yeah, PFL, their roster is not very big yet, so I mean, there's an opportunity there for sure.
So at the end of the episode, they announced the semifinal fights.
Semifinal fights, yeah. We get 2 bantamweight fights and a middleweight fight.
There's 2 middleweight fights.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh my God, there is too. Wow, I'm an idiot. So the first bantamweight fight, we got Ricky Turcios versus Ludwig Shalinian, which that should be a pretty exciting fight.
Yeah, who are you favoring that one?
Man, I'm going to go with Ricky on this one, man.
Yeah, I wrote Ricky down too.
I'm going to go with Ricky because I just feel like he's the more rugged fighter there.
And he seems more well-rounded.
More well-rounded, yeah, for sure. And then the second bantamweight fight, we got Brady Heastan versus Vincent Murdoch, which I think is going to be an absolute banger.
Yeah, that's the fight that I'm most looking forward to for sure.
I'm excited for that one. For that one, I'm going to go with I'm going to take Vincent Murdoch for this one.
I wrote Vincent down for that one too.
Oh shit, dude, we're reading each other's minds here.
Yeah, I think because Brady's so young and inexperienced, and Vincent is the opposite. He's an older dude, and he's been not really that old, but he's got so much more experience, and he already had a shot in the UFC before he had to have the brain surgery.
Yeah,
so I think that his experience and just his viciousness, he's a very what should I say? Aggressiveness, I guess, is the word I want. He's a very aggressive fighter. I think he has a shot to take it. I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, in the first middleweight fight for the semifinals, we got Brian Battle versus Andre Petroski. This is another one that I think is going to be a fucking banger too, and it's really hard to choose who I think is going to win in this fight.
Yeah, who do you think?
I'm going with Andre. Yeah, for this one.
I wrote Andre down. I definitely want Brian Battle to win.
Yeah,
though.
dude.
He's like my favorite on the fucking in the house. Period. He's just my favorite guy in the house, and he's the one that I want to see succeed. But Andre was very dominant in his fight.
Yeah, he seems super powerful, and he's experienced too.
Yeah, he's a great wrestler, and we didn't get to see Battle's wrestling really in his fight.
Yeah.
His fight was mostly him piecing up that other dude, that Russian guy.
Keeping his distance and hitting him with some jabs and some kicks.
Yeah, so it's just I had to lean towards Andre because, I mean, wrestling is so dominant, and
absolutely.
Not being able to see what Brian Battle's wrestling is like really makes me. It's not that he can't do it. It's that I don't know how good. It's like I haven't seen what he can do, so it's hard for me to side with him. If he can't stuff Andre's takedown, it's all over.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge problem for sure. The second middleweight fight, we have Gilbert Urbina versus Tresean Gore. This is going to be a banger as well. These contenders are the real fucking deal, dude. For this fight, I'm probably going to pick Tresean Gore.
Yeah, okay, that's the one where we went different then.
Oh,
I
okay.
picked Gilbert.
Okay.
Again, I mean, I feel like we did see more of Tresean, but Gilbert was just so dominant in that fight.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But there was a lot of factors as to why he could be. Like we just said, like he's fighting. He's had the opportunity to train with these top-level guys, and his opponent hadn't had that opportunity.
Yeah.
So he had a huge leg up on his opponent, but he was still very dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Gilmore could not get. He didn't get a single strike off. He didn't.
Nope.
There was not a second in that fight where it looked like Gilmore had anything going for him.
I think this will be a really good one too because Gore and Gilbert, they're coming from basically nothing really.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
They're both super hungry fighters, so I think it's going to be a super aggressive matchup on that one.
And that's another one. I actually really want Tresean Gore to win. He's the one that I want to favor over it, but I wrote down Gilbert just because of how dominant he was.
Yeah.
And Tresean wasn't. It was Tresean fought Ryder, and that seemed like a little bit more of an even fight than what Gilbert had. Gilbert was so dominant.
Speaking of Ryder Newman, so like watching the episode, I was.
Are you going to bring up his eye?
Yeah, dude.
I wrote that down.
His fight was a few weeks ago, so Tresean Gore must hit really fucking hard because Ryder Newman still looks fucked up.
Yeah, dude, his eye is full of blood, man. His eye looks like my eye looked after I had surgery on it.
Yeah, dude, as soon as it came up, I was like, Jesus, look at his fucking eye. I was like, Tresean Gore must hit like a motherfucker. None of the other guys look like that from their fights.
Right. It's so funny that you brought that up. I wrote that down. But yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like maybe I should change my pick to Tresean Gore over Gilbert, honestly, because he was so good and he was so aggressive, and he seemed like he had so much to fight for. But so does Urbina. Oh, that's my toss up right there. That's the one that I feel the least about my pick.
Yeah,
like,
I
feel the least
that's
strongly
the hardest.
about my pick.
That's definitely the hardest one. So, what would you rate this episode?
I guess I'll give it a 3.5. I suppose I hadn't even thought about a rating, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give it a 4. I was really excited to hear the actual picks for the next 4 fights.
Yeah.
You know, and then there was like that little instance. I thought fucking Volkanovski and Ortega were about to get into it at one point.
Ortega told him to shut the fuck up, and or Volkanovski called him a piece of shit, showing his true colors.
Yeah, because he thought that he was keeping the injury from him or something. But it's like, why? You're not gonna fucking announce that your next fighter's injured. Like, who the fuck would do that?
Yeah, right.
Hey, just so you guys all know, his leg is hurt.
Oh,
I want
kick
you
the
all
shit out of that leg.
Yeah, I want you guys all to know he's injured before going into this fight. Like, what kind of coach would do that? Even if you are in this tournament competition, like, fuck you. I'm not giving you the advantage, you know?
I'll give this episode, I'm going to rate it a 4 as well, because we had, the interesting things that happened, the back and forth between Ortega and Volkanovski, the fighter replacement because of the knee tear, and the dominance from Gilbert.
Yeah, there was actually a little bit of controversy. There's something actually happened in this shit actually happened in this episode over nothing.
Yeah, so it was it kept you on your seat a lot better than the rest of these episodes, for sure. But this has been Everybody's Tough. Have a good day.
Peace.